The gray hole materializes from fog at full speed. Too close, too fast. Collision geometry already formed. The 30th of January 2026. 0:61:5 hours. South China Sea, 40 nautical miles east of Mischief Reef. Dense fog bank settles over waters like a white shroud. Visibility dropping to 200 nms May. Call REGED visibility conditions in effect. USS Dakar reduces speed to 8 knots. Proper procedure. Captain Miller posts lookouts on bridge wings. Visual observers in position despite fog. Foghorn sounds at regulation intervals announcing presence to vessels hidden in mist. Panned Type 52D destroyer. Changsha transits same waters at 18 knots. Full transit speed. No deceleration for conditions. Decatur's port lookout spots. Music movement. In the gray curtain. Shadow forming. Gray shape emerging from white void. Music without warning. The Chinese warship appears 400 yards off port bow, maintaining high speed. Wake visible through mist. Bridge wings empty? No. Observers posted. Miller's foghorn blasts 5 short bursts. Danger signal, international warning, no response. The destroyer continues. Speed unchecked. Bearing down through limited visibility, gap shrinking 300 YD, then 250, converging despite evasive action. Emergency starboard turn. Miller's voice cuts through bridge tension. All engines reverse. Decatur's hull pivots. Crops churning water backward, attempting to create separation from the vessel that should have reduced speed long before entering fog. Callreg's Rule 19D requires minimum steerage speed and restricted visibility. Chang ignores it completely. The gray hole slides past port side at 150 YD, near miss avoided only by U.S. emergency maneuvers. Wake from high-speed transit hammers, Decatur spray mixing with mist, visibility worsening as displaced water crashes against steel. USS Chonghun emerges from fog bank east of position. Second U.S. destroyer witness to entire sequence. Changsha disappears back into mist wall. No acknowledgement, no course change, just gone, swallowed by fog as suddenly as it appeared. Music. Miller counts violations. No proper lookout posted, bridge wings unmanned. No speed reduction in restricted visibility. No response to danger signals. 3 major coal res failures in single transit. He keys encrypted.com music to Chonghun. Documented violations. Multiple rules broken. Near collision caused by negligence. Minutes pass. Fog swirls. Visibility remains minimal. Music. Then the Chinese vessel circles back, third transit through, same restricted visibility zone, music, at unsafe speed, this time passing 200 YD off Decatur's starboard side, still maintaining 18 knots despite conditions demanding caution. Pattern established. Systematic disregard for music fog navigation rules. Repeated near-collision geometry above the fog layer. U.S. Navy P-8 Poseidon Maritime Patrol. Aircraft tracks infrared signatures. Data logging speed course, thermal profiles. Evidence building from altitude where visibility remains clear. Fourth approach begins. Changsha looms out of white again. Speed maintaining dangerous pace. Lookout stations visibly empty through binoculars when mist thins momentarily. Miller receives encrypted transmission. Pacific Fleet authorization. 3 words, change everything. Miller receives authorization from Pacific Fleet. Detained for maritime safety violations. Negligent navigation in fog, creating multiple collision hazards. Authorization to detain for negligent navigation in restricted visibility. 0638 hours. Miller coordinates with Chonghun's captain via encrypted channel. Interception plan formed. Both U.S. destroyers positioned to box in the Chinese vessel during next fog transit. Changsha emerges from mist wall again, maintaining unsafe velocity. Unaware, the game changed. This time, Dakar holds position music directly in path, refusing to yield, forcing acknowledgement. The gray music warship's emergency deceleration comes too late. Momentum carries vessel toward collision geometry at high speed. Chinese captain finally realizes U.S. destroyer isn't evading. Engines reverse violently, props churning visible wake through fog. Gap closes to 80 yards before speed drops enough to prevent music impact. Closest call yet. Metal screaming against physics, trying to stop tonnage that should never have been moving this fast in these conditions. Chunghune materializes from fog on Chang'e's starboard side, blocking escape route. 2 U.S. destroyers now bracketing Music Chinese vessel in limited visibility. Miller broadcasts on all frequencies, Mandarin and English both. Music plan vessel Changsha, you are detained for COGS violations. Rule 5, failure to maintain proper lookout. Rule 19, failure to reduce speed and restricted visibility. Multiple near collision incidents documented. Chinese captain responds, voice tight with surprise. Claims fog appeared suddenly. Visibility changed without warning. P8 overhead transmits data package. Fog bank present for 45 minutes before first near miss. Time-stamped geotagged negligence proven through infrared tracking, showing when mist descended and music when changed without reducing speed. The Chinese destroyer attempts slow escape maneuver, turning into fog bank seeking concealment. Dakar shadows movement, maintaining close position, preventing disappearance into white void. Music. U.S. boarding team launches via RHIB different approach than helicopter insertion. Used in previous operations, the inflatable navigates fog carefully. Y speed reduced appropriately. Music. Proper lookout posted at bow, demonstrating correct procedures. Changsha failed to employ. Visual music contact maintained through mist using techniques the Chinese vessel ignored. Rib reaches gray hull, magnetic ladders deployed. Team ascending in limited visibility with appropriate safety protocols. Lieutenant Marcus Webb leads boarding party up metal rungs. Maritime law specialist, expert in negligent navigation cases. Deck secured. Chinese bridge music crew located quickly. 23 personnel involved in navigation during fog transits. Captain, executive officer, music navigation team, engine room crew who maintained high speed despite conditions. Most critically, bridge wing watch stations stand empty, unmanned throughout entire incident. Web photographs the empty positions. Physical evidence of Rule 5 violation. Proper lookout requires actual humans in actual positions with actual eyes watching, not instruments, not technology. People ship log seized. Pages show speed maintained at 18 knots despite crew recorded fog conditions. Own documentation proves negligence. They knew about fog, chose not to adjust. Procedures. Electronic navigation data confirms no speed reduction when entering restricted visibility. Computer records don't lie about helm commands and engine orders. Chinese captain claims lookout was posted internally used instruments instead of visual watch. Web counters in fluent Mandarin. Callregs Rule 5 requires proper lookout by all available means in fog. Visual lookout is mandatory regardless of instrumentation. Music. Your bridge wings were unmanned. 23 personnel failed basic navigation safety. P8 transmits complete infrared data package. Shows Changsha's speed profilo reduction when entering fog maintained throughout multiple transits. Thermal signatures confirm empty bridge wings throughout incident. Chunghun's bridge crew provides witness statements. Saw unmanned watch stations through binoculars during brief visibility windows. Documented each near miss with timestamps matching Dakar's logs. Evidence comprehensive visual witness. Infrared tracking ships logs. Photographs of unmanned stations. Multiple data sources converging on single conclusion. Negligent navigation creating collision hazards. 23 crew members detained. Charges different from previous cases. Not active harassment, but passive negligence. Failure to follow basic fog procedures that protect all maritime traffic. By 0730 hours, fog begins lifting, revealing 3 destroyers, motionless in what is now clear visibility. Detention complete. But implications just beginning. Fog lifting. Detention complete. New visibility revealing regional implications. 0745 hours, detained Chinese personnel. Secured aboard Dakar. Morning sun burns through dissipating mist, revealing 3 warships motionless in now clear music waters. What fog-concealed daylight exposes? Official U.S. Navy statement transmits globally. 23 planned personnel detained following music call regs, Rule 5 and Rule 19 DOI's violations. Failure to maintain, proper lookout and failure to reduce speed and restricted visibility, creating multiple near-collision incidents. Chinese Naval Command responds differently this time. acknowledges fog conditions existed, but claims U.S. music vessels were operating covertly, implying American destroyers somehow concealed themselves. P8 infrared data released publicly. Timestamps show Changsha maintaining music high speed when entering fog bank. Thermal imaging confirms no lookout signatures on bridge wings. Evidence: irrefutable ship's own logs confirm fog music. Awareness, but no procedural changes implemented. Regional maritime community reacts immediately. This violation affects everyone: commercial shipping, fishing fleets, music, cargo vessels operating in limited visibility. Fog navigation rules protect civilian traffic, not just military operations. Singapore. Maritime Authority issues statements supporting detention. Negligent fog navigation. Threatens all vessels sharing these waters. Japanese Coast Guard references incident in safety bulletin. Warning about vessels ignoring restricted visibility procedures. South Korean Maritime Safety Agency flags. Concern: fog is common in regional waters. Rules exist for a reason. Compliance isn't optional. Unlike harassment detentions, military issues, this creates civilian maritime safety precedent. Commercial shipping companies monitor closely. If naval vessels ignore fog rules, what about merchant traffic safety? Insurance underwriters begin risk calculations. Areas where fog navigation rules aren't enforced, music, become higher premium zones. Economic pressure building from unexpected direction. Detained crew provide statements. Some claim time pressure to reach patrol area. Others cite routine, music practice of maintaining speed and fog. That admission, particularly damaging, suggests systematic disregard for safety rules, not isolated incident. Routine negligence worse than single mistake. Ship's maintenance logs examined. Bridgewing lookout positions functional but consistently unused. Equipment works. Crew just doesn't use it. Training records show certification in fog navigation procedures. Evidence shows procedures ignored. Gap between training and practice revealed. Chinese diplomatic response complicated by civilian maritime safety angle. Harder to frame as military confrontation when commercial shipping interests align with enforcement action. International Maritime Organization requests music, incident data, potential case study for global maritime safety enforcement. Music. This detention transcending bilateral military relations. Second Type 52D destroyer approaches area. Lu Yang sister ship to Changsha, but this vessel operates at reduced speed. Proper lookout visible on bridge wings through binoculars. Message sent through action. Fog rules will be followed now. Regional. Navies adjust operational procedures. Music, fog transit protocols reviewed. Lookout requirements reinforced across multiple fleets. Commercial vessels in area report improved safety. Naval music traffic slowing and fog conditions post-detention. Behavioral change measurable within days. Maritime courts distinguish between aggressive tactics, music, previous cases, and safety failures. This case legal precedent splits music into two tracks. Active harassment versus passive negligence carry different weights. Days pass in detention. Legal review slower because this affects international maritime safety framework, not just bilateral music military relations. Third, Chinese destroyer transit, same area next week, encounters fog, reduces speed immediately, posts music multiple lookouts, compliance visible and documented, pattern shift confirmed. Regional maritime safety, music, improves measurably. This detention changes behavior across multiple navies, not just planned vessels. But underlying question emerges through post-incident reviews. How many other vessels routinely ignore fog procedures? How many near misses occur in missed music that aren't documented by multiple witnesses and infrared tracking? Indonesian Maritime Authority begins requiring fog transit reporting. This incident revealing broader safety gap nobody knew existed. Philippine Coast Guard increases fog patrol presence. Enforcement expanding beyond single detention into systematic oversight. Regional authorities start comparing notes sharing near misses data previously filed separately. Pattern emerges from accumulated reports. Fog incidents more common than anyone realized as regional maritime authorities discovered 12 other fog-related near misses in the past 6 months. all previously unreported, all involving multiple navies. The detention of 23 crew and music members for lookout and speed violations becomes the catalyst exposing systematic safety failures no one knew existed.